Hello, students. We're now in the second part of the 5 parts of the cell theory. Now we're going to talk about the two fingers that are kind of grayed out, finger number 4 and finger number 5. So let's continue to have our discussion on the 5 parts of the cell theory. Now, what I'd like you to do is on the next page, page 14, you're going to redraw the hand and you're going to label it the way you see it here. As soon as the video is done, and we're going to talk about it. And the underlines you're going to have to fill out. All right, let's begin. So to recap very quickly, the 5 parts of cell theory, if you look at finger number 1, is all organisms are made of one cell or more cells. Consists of one cells or many cells, unicellular or multicellular. Finger number 2, the cell is the smallest unit of an organism. It's the building block of an organism. And number 3, all cells come from pre-existing cells. In other words, they reproduce. Okay, and number 4, all cells have a specific function. And number 5, all cells require energy. All right, so let's take a look at number 4. And today we're going to talk about that similar function. Similar cells carry on similar functions. Remember, what is a function? Okay, if you thought job, you were correct. Similar cells carry on similar jobs or functions that are shaped to support that function. So what this is saying is the shape of the cell usually can determine what the function of that cell is going to be, what the job of that cell. And I have 2 examples here for you. We have pricked the finger number 4 and drawed out some blood, and there's a couple things going on right now. We're bleeding and we can feel pain on that finger. So let's talk about the bleeding first. If you take a look at the blood cell, remember all cells have a specific function based on how they're shaped or their structure. If you take a look at the blood cell, it looks kind of like a little donut. Now it's not hollow in the middle, but it has a little area there where an oxygen bubble can easily just sit on the blood and travel throughout your whole body. And this is exactly how oxygen that you breathe from your lungs makes it all the way down to your toes. Because even your cells in your toes need oxygen, and your blood is the one that's carrying the oxygen all the way down there. Now it also takes out carbon dioxide. I didn't draw carbon dioxide sitting inside the blood cell, but it also carries the blood back to our lungs, where when we breathe, we exhale out, we breathe out the carbon dioxide. So here we have a great example of a cell whose shape really determines its job. Its structure is its shape, and its function is its job. So the structure is kind of hollow in the middle. The function is that it can carry oxygen and carbon dioxide easily throughout your whole body. So notice that cells don't all look alike. If you look at the underlined words by the fingers way back in between finger 1 and finger 2, those are skin cells. It's kind of like what they look like. And if you look at finger number 4, look what blood cells look like. That's the smallest unit. It doesn't get any smaller than that. And let's take a look at what nerve cells look like. Now that's strange. I bet you thought all cells are round, and the truth of the matter is they're not. Each one has a specific shape based on its job. So let's take a look at nerve cells again. And they look kind of like, I don't know, like little aliens from the Alien movie. And their job is to send electrical impulses from wherever you have pain all the way to your brain so that you know that your finger is hurting. And if we didn't have this, then we could hurt ourselves and not even know it. But if you get stuck by a pin, your first reaction probably is to move your finger back And what happens is these nerves are communicating with each other through those little feelers that they have at the end. Those are called dendrites, and they can communicate pain all the way to your brain so that you can remove your finger. So here's another example of the shape of the cell, the structure of the shell supporting its function. So it's made to communicate to the other nerve cells. And there's a string of them all the way from your finger all the way to your brain. So their structure determines their function as well. So back to what number 4 represents. If you read down the bottom, you're going to write this down. Similar cells carry on similar functions and are shaped to support that function. And that is part of the cell theory, but part of number 4 of the cell theory. Okay, let's take a look at number 5. Cells have the basic needs of all living things. Cells are organisms. So everything that we studied what organisms need, a cell needs. And cells require energy to live. Cells also reproduce. That's how we have 3 trillion cells. They're constantly making new cells. Did you know that you should replace your mattress every 7 years? Because the cells of your skin are constantly falling off. But don't worry, your body's constantly reproducing new cells to replace those cells. And the last one is respiration. Respiration is how cells perform waste inside your body. Humans have waste, and so do cells. And cells' waste is carbon dioxide. Now, look at that word, respiration. Have you ever heard of that word used to describe when you breathe out, when we exhale? Like you respire, your respiration. That is the air that's coming out of your mouth when you exhale, when air is coming out of your mouth. And what we are getting rid of is carbon dioxide. So this is the waste of all 3 trillions of your cells. The reason that we breathe out is to get rid of carbon dioxide, is to get rid of all the waste of your 3 trillion cells. I bet you didn't know that. All right, so you're going to go on to the next slide, and you are going to draw this picture one more time. But this time, I want you to focus on finger number 4 and finger number 5. All right. Hope you're ready for the quiz that's coming up. See you later.